guys, it's Rhonda. Welcome back to another Pocket Page Process video. Today I am working on the back side of that layout that you just saw. And this particular Pocket Page Protector has room for 2 vertical 4x6s, 2 horizontal 4x6s, and 2 vertical 3x4s. Now on the right hand side of the layout, you can see that there is also a 2x12 strip. That particular paper that is in there is the back side of the paper that I used on the front of this layout. My original intent was to add a different strip of paper on that side, but as I finished this layout, I realized that that strip of paper that's in there worked really well with this layout. So the colors work together really well. The embellishments that I chose go well with this, so I just decided to keep it as it is and use that leaf paper in that 2x12 spot. So the pictures that I'm working on are from an area of Yellowstone Park called Hayden Valley. So Hayden Valley along with Lamar Valley are 2 well-known spots in the park for spotting wildlife. Now it was definitely my intent to go to Lamar Valley as well. We just ran out of time. I know, just a tip from me to you, there is a bunch more wildlife that is spotted in Lamar Valley than in Hayden Valley. I believe that is where most of the Yellowstone pack of wolves hangs out, is in Lamar Valley. But again, we ran out of time, and we did end up going through Hayden Valley actually a couple times. So these photos that we took were of the bison that we saw in that area. That was the only wildlife that we saw in Hayden Valley. But it was well worth the drive. There were quite a few bison out there. I can imagine that this place in August, when the buffalo rut is happening, is quite packed with buffalo. We did see quite a few, which was exciting, but we did miss the rut by a month. So I was kind of bummed about that, but that's okay. We ended up seeing a lot of buffalo as it was. So the title card is one of the vertical 4x6 photos, and I've just trimmed down my photo to kind of focus on the buffalo, and then I was able to add my title underneath. So of course my title is Hayden Valley, and I went ahead and used the wax paper trick and just laid out my letters so that I could cut apart the wax paper and make sure that it was going to fit where I wanted it to fit. So I've gone ahead and put down my title, which is Hayden Valley. And I love that little flower. Now it is a kind of a paper flower, paper mache kind of flower, and I have a whole pack of them, and my goal was to use up a large majority of them in this album, and I have used quite a bit, so I was very proud of myself for doing that. But I didn't love the way it was floating up there, so I pulled out a strip of paper and I just attached that to my photo, and then I put the flower on top of it, and that just kind of provided an anchor for that flower so it wasn't floating. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that horizontal 4x6 up there at the top, and the paper that I'm working with is actually from a paper bag that I got in one of the gift shops in Yellowstone. Now when I am on vacation, I tend to hoard every bit of ephemera that I can find. And as soon as I got this bag, I thought this is going to be great to use in my album. I saved it, and I did go ahead and just cut apart the bag so that I could just focus on the Yellowstone, and then it's got that buffalo on it, so I thought it would be perfect on this particular layout. So again, another tip from me to you, save everything. You never know what you'll be able to cut apart and to use in your layout. So let's talk Pocket Page scrapbooking for just a second. I traditionally scrapbook all of my albums in a Pocket Page format. I've been scrapbooking for 20 plus years, and like many people, I started with a traditional 12x12 full page layout album. I believe it was 2012 maybe, Becky Higgins came out with her Project Life, and I was intrigued by it. The concept of it was that you would document every day of your life with a photo. It incorporated journaling, but it also used pocket pages so that you had plenty of room to put in a photo every day. So I ordered the entire kit and was all ready to start come January, and hit it gung-ho January 1st, and I was done by the middle of February. So remember, the concept of Project Life was that you documented every day of your life. Now, my life is not exciting enough to document every day. And there was one day in February, I remember my photo of the day was literally the 4 tuna fish sandwiches that my son had made for lunch, because there was nothing else to document. And I thought, at that point, this isn't going to work for me. So I went ahead and I put it aside. And in 2016, we were getting ready to go to Disney World. And I was trying to think of a different way to document this Disney trip. All of my prior Disney albums were all looking the same. They were all 12 by 12 layouts. There wasn't anything different from year to year in these albums. So I started looking for a different solution for my new Disney album. And one day I was cleaning out my scrapbooking room and I came across the old Project Life kit that I had tucked away. And I thought, okay, this is different. I forgot I had this. Let me pull this out. So as I started looking at the pocket pages, I thought, what can I do with this? So I went to YouTube and I did some research and I discovered that this was actually a thing, pocket page scrapbooking. So from then on, I was hooked. My 2016 Disney album was the very first album that I did in pocket page style, and I was obsessed from that point on. So for me, it just works because I take an awful lot of pictures and I want to be able to use them all, not have to figure out which ones I want to use and which ones I don't. So I like the fact that I can use many, many photos by using a pocket page protector. The other thing that I love about this is that I don't have to figure out a different 12 by 12 layout each time I want to scrapbook a photo. I have enough trouble as it is coming up with 12 by 12 layout ideas. I couldn't imagine, again, going back to doing a whole album where I had to think of a different creative layout each time I wanted to scrapbook a photo. Now, this pocket page in particular is a prime example of why I love pocket page scrapbooking. And probably the main reason that I love this is the flexibility that I have. So because of the pockets, you can certainly pop a picture in and call it done. I have done that in that middle one with the buffalo in it. I didn't feel the need to do anything else with it. It's perfect on its own. It's a beautiful photo. I just popped it in that page and called it done. The other thing I've done in this layout is created some filler cards, and filler cards are my thing. I love to create filler cards. This is kind of where I can let my creativity shine, but on a small scale. So I don't have to worry about coming up with enough creativity to fill a 12 by 12 page. This particular card, I only have to have enough creativity to come up with a 3 by 4 card. So that's what I'm working on. The one with the Yellowstone bag, that is just a filler card. So again, lots of flexibility in there. I love breaking up all of the photos in a layout with filler cards. But again, with flexibility, another thing you can do is trim down your photos. So that title card that I did with the Hayden Valley on it, I trimmed down my photo to just what was the focal spot of the photo. And I was able to create a 4 by 6 card. I was able to create a title. I was able to add some embellishments just by trimming down the photo to what was important. Now, the other thing that I like to do sometimes, rather than trimming down my photos or just leaving them whole, is to add embellishments on top of them. And that is what I am doing with this photo. So I could have trimmed it down to just kind of the buffalo in the background, but then it would look very similar to the card on top of it. And I didn't really want to go for that look. So I decided just to leave my photo as a 4 by 6, but to add embellishments on top of the photo. And I do this quite often as well. So these are just a couple of the tips and techniques that I use when I do pocket style scrapbooking. Again, everybody's style is completely different and you can do what works for you. But this is what I love. This is what you will see time and time again in all of my pocket page scrapbooks. So I'm just finishing up this layout. I've decided to grab this tiny word phrase and I'm going to put it on top of that compass there. And I think that's going to pretty much complete this layout. So you'll see a close-up of some of the cards in just a second. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.